Tala Falava and welcome to the Reads with Rosa podcast. This week on the show, I am joined by an avid reader, a Harry Potter fan, and a hardcore Westie. Born and bred in the Efakasa Church, she is a proud Samoan woman who carries two chief titles that represent her ancestors, villages, and her ainga. Outside of her family and church commitments, she is a successful reporter and a role model in the community. She is a staunch advocate for our Pacific Island people and our stories. Welcome to the space where creators have aligned a positive and intellectual collab of open minds. For sharing and learning from one another, it's a vibe. Read the Rosa podcast on the mic. Subscribe, educator spitting bars. I guess you didn't know I'm multifaceted and humble, checking off life goals. The classroom is my comfort zone where I plant and sow seeds of knowledge, compassion, empathy, and hope. Reading is the key to unlocking your potential. Countless benefits, including cognitive and mental. Regardless of the genre, books are highly influential. Go get yours, I'll get mine. Make you strive, monumental. Come rock with me and get down to this new jam. With my friends, I had a very simple plan. Educate the masses through books and life lessons. It's a grand slam. I'm out. Please introduce yourself to our audience, to our listeners.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Ko Moana Takuingo. That's the extent of my te reo. I'm Moana. My full name, if you ask me, it's Timuia Pai Pai Tele Leala Yoloto Vaimoana Tapaleao. But yeah, I only hear like the full name when I'm in trouble from my mom. Yeah, everyone else calls me Moana. Rosa calls me Monty. Other people call me Mo. Yeah, if you call me something else, just keep it to yourself.
Man, sis, welcome to the show again. Can you shout out your villagers? Can you shout out your people? I know you have a whole village and some behind you. So please shout them out, give them some love.
Okay. Well, my dad, he's from Guamua, which is like it's about okay. I want to be a town. It's about 10 minutes from up here. Yeah, Tuamua Faleata. If you know what Sea is, then yeah, Guamua has the best Sea. My mom, she's from she's Tenio Lebotu. She's from Savai'i. My dad always jokes it takes like 3 trains to get to her village. She's from Lilipa. Yeah, which is like it's where all those nice beaches are and where lots of the resorts are. Li Tuatane. So yeah, so what do you call that? Afukasi,
Yeah, are you a quarter something? Man, thank you, sis, and a big, huge shout out and love to your parents. Just for everyone listening, Monty's mum is actually one of my mum's like, man, OG friends. Like when I think I can't remember which episode I said this in, but when I went home in June of last year, I actually recorded just recording a conversation with mum, because I wanted her to tell her story about when she first came to New Zealand. And in her story, she talks about Monty's mum. And it's really funny because when you hear her telling about their early days, Henderson, Ifakasa, and, they're like early 20s, it's so funny. Like the cheeky laugh, the naughty laughing in the recording. I'm like that? Yeah, I'm like, really? But it's just beautiful memories that she shared. And your mom is a huge part of that. We have so many photos of them. Man, they're like OG friends from way back. So again,
it's matching Monday.
Oi, hard out, and it's an honor to have you here on the show.
Thank you, sis. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Man, yeah. I mean, have to West Auckland, that's what's up. Yeah, West Side.
Right.
You better keep those fingers to yourself. Thank you very much.
You can probably tell from my shirt that I'm from West Auckland.
Yeah, so we're Westies hard. So man, sis, it's so good to have you here. And Man, there's just so much I want to talk about, but I'm just trying to be like, calm yourself down, Rosa. Calm yourself down. I guess to start is I know you're everyone knows you're a reader. Okay, everyone knows you love to read. And where did that love of reading come from? Was that something that came from primary school or was it high school?
No, I think it came earlier.
Hmm.
Far out, you made me think. When I was little, well, you know, but everyone else here doesn't know. I'm an only child,
Mm,
so I obviously, yeah, it was just me and my parents, and we didn't have much when I was really really young, and so my parents they would like write stories with me. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds really abnormal, but that's what we would do. Like we would write little stories. My mom would like write out a sentence, and then I would finish the sentence or something like that. And then maybe that was where I started reading. Like my mom would bring back little books, like you know those well, I was gonna say golden circle, but that's a
yeah,
drink. Eh?
golden circle. No.
No, golden circle is a drink.
Oh, golden books.
Golden books.
Golden books. No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
golden circle.
yeah.
Okay, golden books.
She would she would get them. I don't know. I think she'd get them from like friends or like secondhand books. Or like it would be secondhand. It was never brand new. I don't know if she got it from my older cousins or something, but she would come home with them, and I would read like go through those books. But I think yeah, even earlier than that, it was like the love of reading started from my parents saying "fangungo."
Mm.
Yeah, they would tell me stories. Like I would ask to be, can you tell me what Cinderella? Can you tell me the story of Cinderella, Dad? And my dad was like, "What? And it's just your my son, yes." He doesn't know. Yeah, he doesn't know those Balangi, fairy tales and that. So I would hear like fangungo, like old school Samoan stories, or just stories about that what they would, how life was in Samoa. So I think that's where it started. But I was always, yeah, from a young age, that was something that my mom always had me do was writing. So yeah, it's funny because I came across like some old boxes from when I was in primary school, and yeah, I had I had like storybooks that I would just write stories. It would be like basic as like my dad took me to the shop.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the love of reading started from writing. Yeah.
Man. And so then were you what kind of student were you? Like, someone who loved to read, loved to write. Were you that like A plus top of the
Well,
class student?
I need a wait.
Were you into sports? Did you play any sports at school? Were you a netballer or
Yeah, my dad still says he wasted his money. um, oh, sorry, not his money, his being seen to take me to the games at 8 o'clock at West Harbour. Netball, this is netball, yeah. But oh man, my sporting days knackered in like primary school and intermediate. I really only my cousins know this. I was really fast, like sprinter. But yeah, that ended at like year 10. But other than that, nah, I was a geek, man. I was such a geek. I loved reading, loved writing. Um, oh, there was yeah. When I was little, these are the kinds of gifts that I would get, not just from my parents, but from especially my mom's side. Because yeah, I'm one of the youngest cousins on my mom's side, and so all of my older cousins they would get like books, lots of te reo, like Maori books for some reason. So I grew up reading like Hatu Patu and I forgot the story now. Yeah, it's but with a cloak. That book about the huia with yeah. I grew up with all those books as gifts. They would get them for me for my birthdays. So that was another
wow.
thing. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I was a geek.
Let me just backtrack a little bit. For those, every time Monty mentions her dad, I can't help but laugh. Like her dad is the comedian. If you know, you know. Everyone knows your dad. Oh, Monty's dad is the comedian, and my parents have a lot of funny memories, and just really fond memories with your parents. I was thinking about that as you were talking.
Mm.
But your dad is also really renowned for his piano playing. I mean, he is a goat. He has been around for many years,
Mm.
serving in the church as a pianist, um, composing music and teaching for the choir.
Yeah.
Then you have your mum, who is, man, she's been sewing, she's a seamstress, she's been sewing for years, making your clothes. She
Yeah.
made my white Sunday clothes. Did you ever take piano lessons? Are you good at sewing? Like, because your parents both have these amazing talents. And do you get any of that from that sounds horrible. Do you know how to sew like mom? Do you play a little bit of piano? Or did you ever take piano
Yeah.
lessons?
Well, I can sew in a straight line.
That's a
I
start.
I can do this, yeah, but nah, I cannot. I can't sew. Yeah, my mom's really. You obviously know she's really good, and maybe that's the reason. When your mom is really good, you don't need to know it. But in saying that, yeah, I need to learn. um, but yeah, my dad, yeah, my this is another one that my mom always says. Oh, my mom kupe. um, I took lessons, like piano lessons,
Mm,
right from maybe 4 years old. Yeah, my
wow.
parents invested in things like that, even though they didn't have much, in their their salary on that kind of stuff. But I would get random tutoring like that.
Mm,
They paid for piano lessons because I couldn't learn from my dad. I don't know why, like
mm.
not listening or something. You listen to your own parent. Yeah, I don't know. So I had to, yeah, I learned piano from about 4 years old to, yeah, my last like lesson was in year 10.
Mm,
So yeah, I didn't, to be honest, it never, I guess everyone has different talents, eh? Maybe it skipped me.
yeah.
But the thing with piano lessons, it was funny because I was not good at practical. It would take me
Mm.
hours to, especially the what's this? Not treble. See, I can't
Yeah.
even remember the term. What's the left hand? The left hand.
I
Something
don't
clear.
know.
Um, yeah, I just could not, like, I don't know. I couldn't. It took me ages to learn a piece. But
Mm,
the thing that I excelled in was the theory
mm.
test. So I can still remember what, andante, allegro, diminuendo, and I remember those terms. I remember one time we had to go do the exams because I made it to the exams, um, and I think I just passed the practical test, but the theory one I got like 90, like I passed with distinction, and
Wow.
that's the only certificate from piano that is worth keeping. Yeah, but yeah, so kind of no.
Man, that's so interesting. I guess the next question really is, how did you? I mean, obviously, hearing you now, it's like it was meant to be. You were destined to become some kind of writer, right? So, how did you get into journalism? How did you get into, well, like, did you know in high school that that's what you wanted to be like, or was it something that you just figured out when you got to uni? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Um, yeah, I like, see how I mentioned that I started writing like in primary school and
Mm.
reading and listening to. There was this other kind of gifts that my mom always bought me. She bought me like maybe five of these. You know those books that you get the book, like Disney book, and there's
Yeah.
a tape that goes with it. Oh my
Oh
gosh, we're
yes,
so
yes,
there's a tape.
yes.
Yeah, CD. Oh, CD's old too. I would put the tape in the cassette thing and listen to it and read it, with the story.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, like it started from a young age, but I didn't know that was journalism. I
Right.
just liked stories, and then it wasn't until like my whole, oh yeah, I want to say primary, my whole like primary, Oh no, wait, I'm lying. In primary, I wanted to be an artist.
Oh.
Yeah, when I got to oh, that's one thing that's kind of from my parents, my mom. That part
Mm,
of creativity was, yeah, art. But anyway, in intermediate, I always wanted to be a lawyer. So that was my goal from leaving intermediate to high school. It was always to be a lawyer. Like that was the aim.
mm,
And then in 2001, no, 2001, September 11th happened. And
mm,
I was 14. It was year
mm,
10. Yeah, I remember it was Mufti Day. And we got to school that morning, and everyone knows, like everyone who was at school that day, there was no class in the morning because everyone like was watching what had happened, not on
mm,
our phones. We didn't have any, but yeah, the teachers just like canceled all the lessons and just brought on the TV. We were just watching the news and that.
mm,
And man, that whole month, like, you know, I was just glued to the TV. I read every single article I read,
mm,
like, that I could obviously read or get my hands on. Um, I would watch the news. I would listen to the radio, and I just realized that, like, because I've always liked history as well. So
yeah.
I just realized that that was like history in the making. It's happening now, but it's always going to be historic. Um,
Mm,
and the stories that were coming out of those, see, my love of stories was like obviously everyone knew the stories of like pain and heartbreak, and everyone was mourning the deaths that had happened, and even the hatred. Like there
mm,
was all these kinds of stories, but then the other stories that we were starting to see were like stories of heroism and like hope, and
mm.
yeah, and yeah, it made me think like far out. I want to be part of that history. I want to help tell those people's stories one day. So yeah, that was the spark. Was something terrible that happened, but that was the spark. September 11th. Yeah.
Do you remember what your very first story like? So you went to school, you went to
Mm.
university, you studied, you graduated, then you get a job and you find yourself in the setting where you're like, wow, okay, I'm doing my part for society, and now I get to write these
Mm.
stories. Um, and do you remember the very first story that you wrote?
Um, like at uni or
Once you graduated and you were actually in working
yeah.
for a newspaper and
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the very first story.
mm,
Um, no, I can't remember. Oh
mm,
man, I want to say that I do, but the first story that I remember that I
mm,
that I remember, like the first one that comes to mind
mm,
is when I was at uni though. I was at
mm,
my final year of journalism.
right.
Um, oh, I have to mention this because like this is typical Samoan. Like I needed yeah, this is honestly it's true. Like every week we get like a challenge, or
Mm,
not a challenge, but you try to find a story, to write a story and then find a publication to print it.
mm,
And I'm not being a neg, but nearly every one of my stories was printed, like published,
yeah.
by the Western leader. Yeah, Western leader.
Yeah, West Auckland, that's what's up.
Yeah, because like each week I would send out a text to all my cousins and all to all like random people at church, like, oh man, have you guys done anything good, or
Right.
are you hearing about anything that's happening in the community? So one of my first stories was one of my cousins, Star. She was in South Africa at the time. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So she was doing like a, what's it called? It's not, yeah, exchange program, eh? Like
Yeah.
yeah, she was at high school. And I interviewed her, like just about what life is like in South
Mm,
Africa for her. It was this real short piece, but she talked about how, yeah, her cultural differences, and
mm,
how she went to that she learned about Nelson Mandela, and yeah, and it got printed. It got published. And another story was this one was really hard. We had to one week we had to find a sports story,
Mm.
and I was like, oh my lord, I'm gonna fail. One day I was telling my dad, I was like, oh my gosh, dad, I got an assignment, but I don't know anyone who, who does sports, like anyone worth, like interviewing. And then he goes, so scale for yeah, like I'm shocked that you're even asking that. And I was like, what? And he goes, Nico Appa.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, a beautiful man. Rest in peace to
Mm.
Nico Manu. But yeah, Nico, then
Yeah.
he was getting ready to go to the South Pacific Games. And oh man, this is typical of us. Say we forget our own name. We forget what's happening in our own, like our own church or our own like family. And my
Mm.
dad was like, Nico, he's going to, and I was like, for what? And he goes,
Oh,
oh,
sad. Right.
I was like, because I wasn't, and he was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean for what? For Kirikiki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
The
I was like,
man.
of course, yeah. And so, man, I think I called him up, like found their phone number and called up and said, "Oh, Nico, please, can I interview you after church on Sunday?" And I literally did that. Like after church one Sunday, we went out into the car park near his car, and Buffalo, that's his wife,
Yeah.
on the other side, just waiting. And yeah, I was just interviewing him about his life and how's his excitement going to Samoa. Oh, was it Samoa? Yeah, I can't remember now, but yeah, they were heading to the South Pacific Games. But he talked about like he wants more Pacific and Samoan people to get into cricket, not just rugby and league. Like get into cricket. We can swing and we can smash it out, as seen in like Ross Taylor, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh man, I need a photo of you." And he goes, "Oh, I brought my helmet, my yeah, his cricket helmet." And that was the photo, yeah, and that story ran.
Yeah.
Um,
I
my story,
remember.
yeah, my sports story was that week was the only sports story that got published. Yeah, and
Man.
then everyone thought I was the man until they found out he was from my church.
Man, you are awesome, sis. Rest in love to Manu and shout out to the uppers. I mean, yeah, like you said, you just didn't realize. Hello, right there in the community in the church. There were people, man,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
out there.
I forgot to mention, like, this is another weird connection to church. In my career, do you remember our youth service at Avondale College? Willy Wonka.
Are you? Of
Do you remember
course.
do you remember what I did?
No, what did you do? I can't remind me.
Oh yeah, what were you? You're that blueberry girl. Oh no, what
No,
were
I
you?
was in the sound booth doing the
Oh,
tech.
oops. Who was the blueberry? Oh, Helen.
Um,
Next. I was one of the reporters.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Hello. How
it
could
was
we
me and
forget? I thought you were gonna
me and
say I
Sid.
was the person that set off the alarm, but no, sorry, that wasn't me. Sorry, wait, was it? That's
Well,
right. Anyway, whole nother chapter, whole nother story.
yeah, I was me and Tia. I was one of the reporters, like obviously saying, and the next golden ticket has been found in Russia or whatever it was. Um, after that, and that was the same year, 2001.
Mm.
After that, that night, I came outside and a lady came up to me and said, "Hey, Moana, have you ever thought about journalism?" And bro, I just laughed. I laughed at her, and then I looked at her, and she was dead serious. And that was another spark. Like that was, I don't know, it was just meant to be that year because I
Mm.
remember that was in June or July, and then September 11th happened, and obviously September.
Man, that is so many moments, so many
Yeah,
key moments that you now look back and
yeah.
reflect on. That's just if you could just let everyone know, sis, like what is your official job title? What is it that you do every day? What is your career? What is it? Drop the knowledge.
Okay, I'm a journalist. I'm a
In
journalist for
case
the
you
New
didn't
Zealand Herald.
figure that out already, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm a journalist for the New Zealand Herald. I've been a journalist there for oh, so next month will be 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
That is
Yeah, so I've been
amazing.
a reporter, obviously over those years, and I've just been given a new role actually, um, as Pacifica editor. Yeah,
Congratulations. I'm obviously late to the thing, but congratulations, sis. That's
thanks, sis.
awesome.
No, you're not late. This is yeah, I only started last week, so yeah, reads with Rosa.
We have a first exclusive on the Reads with Rosa podcast.
Yeah,
That's
but yeah,
awesome.
it's funny because
Congrats.
people like Samoans, they'll ask me what I do, and some Samoans are like dry, eh? Like I'll say, "Oh, Tusi Tala," obviously journalist, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Faita Tala."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Fight me.
yeah, but man, our people are funny, eh?
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yeah,
So man, that's so cool. And then so then a regular day from you for you, like
yeah,
you could be working in the morning or in the afternoon, evening. Take us
yeah.
through a regular day for you.
Oh, so like, okay, if I was like, oh, I was gonna say growing up, but like throughout most of my years, we have shifts. So you're either working like a morning shift or an afternoon shift or a night shift. Morning shifts are like normal, like eight to nine.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, 8 to 9, 8 to 5. And then afternoon shift is 12 to 8, and then the night shifts are like, oh man, no one wants that. It's like 4 to 12. Yeah,
Wow.
it's just when the paper goes to bed. But over the since for the last 3 years, because my dad, he went through some things
Mm,
like in 2019, and so I was off for about 5 months.
mm,
But when I came back, I specifically asked for the early morning reporter job because I could take dad to his appointments after work. Yeah, in the afternoons. So yeah, a regular day at the moment is like I start at 5 a.m. Because we were working from home because
mm.
Auckland is, oh sorry, New Zealand is in red alert. Yeah, we've been working from home since like August.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
intense. Um, so I wake up, obviously get ready for like coming to the next room. um, 5 a.m. Okay, so my duties are like I have to obviously just quickly check what the night reporter had just handed over. So I just
Mm,
read through what they left. So they finish at midnight. So
mm.
they just outline, oh yeah, might want to check on the queen. She's not very well. Oh, this is just hypothetical.
Right, right.
Yeah, she just like puts in like, oh yeah, there was a crash last night. Maybe check on, how they're doing. So
Mm,
stuff like that. I just gotta check up, and then I check in with police, emergency
mm,
services, fire emergency services. Yeah, just to check if there was any like significant things that happened overnight.
mm.
'Cause police, that's what police do. They tell the media
Right.
what happened the night before if there was like, a 5-car crash or something on the Southern Motorway or something like that. And then yeah, from like 6 a.m. Onwards, it's like COVID. It's just COVID coverage basically, because that's basically what's happening at the moment. But
Mm,
yeah, it depends on what's happening. Like, yeah, obviously if when Prince Philip died, then that's what we're
right.
looking at. Yeah, it just depends on the daily
Mm.
news, I guess.
You know, does your phone have to be on all the time? Like, I know that you say, like for now you're working from the morning shift onwards, but when you leave that room that you're in, the workroom, and to go into family time, do you have to keep your phone on? Are you on call, or is it, or you can actually shut that down? Like, family
Yeah,
time is family time, work is work.
yeah. I like after work, honestly, I try not to watch the news
Mm,
or try not to I just try to go take a break. Like, it's finished, work is finished, go have a nap or something, go have a I was gonna say something random like go have a like fussy more or something, like just go eat, just go outside, you know,
Mm,
I'm saying like just during these times, it's such like COVID.
right.
So I just try to, yeah, just try to tune out. But it does have to take like, it takes like a big event or something massive for the boss to call. You know, we need reporters. Like, can you log on
Mm,
or can you come into the office? If it wasn't for COVID, um, yeah, there would still be times where you could just your boss could call up and say, "Oh, get your passport. We need you to go to, we need you on a
wow.
flight." Yeah. Um, the most recent thing where I must have, oh, actually, I volunteered because was the Tongan
Right.
volcano eruption. Yeah, because it happened on like a Saturday, and
Mm,
yeah, there's not. Yeah, I think there weren't many people on, so I
mm,
just called and said, "Oh, I just logged on," and I was like, "Okay, I've got Tonga. I'm gonna help with the Tonga coverage."
mm,
Um, yeah, but other times like the Samoan tsunami when that happened in
mm,
2009, like the morning that, yeah, I was meant to be on leave like that last week.
mm.
Yeah, I was not. I was on a plane to Samoa like in 2 days.
Wow.
Um, yeah, that's just weird about news. You just never know.
Mm,
I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I'd probably been, you know, I probably would have been sent to Tonga.
right.
Um, yeah, but it's just dependent on
Mm,
the event. The only other big things that have had the boss call, you know, was like the Christchurch earthquake,
mm.
uh, and obviously the terror attack in 2019 in Christchurch. Those are the kinds of things that, like, if your boss hasn't called you already, just go into the office. Like, that's
Right.
massive. We need help. Yeah,
Man, I know that you said the last time you were at work was, I mean, you've been working from home, but I wanted to know prior to COVID, if I was a fly on the wall in your workplace or the office space, what would I be hearing? I guess I'm just trying to, we're
yeah,
just trying to, I want to get an idea of, like what is the vibe? Um,
yeah,
is it just a whole bunch of people just head down working, or is that I watch too much TV and that's what I imagine it to be?
yeah.
If I was a fly on the wall, what would I be hearing or seeing?
Um, yeah. Again, dependent on what's happening. It can be like completely silent, which is really weird. You know, for
Yeah.
people to think, because you know, you see other movies like Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, Superman. um, you know, they like everyone's like bustling around, the scene is busy as, but that kind of thing only like really happens when breaking news is like happening, like something big is happening in the world. Um, oh man, it's some of my favorite times, like, you know, the TVs. Because the newsroom is like filled, surrounded with TVs with different TV stations on. So like Sky News, BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN. Like, so when something big happens, like all of a sudden the volumes go up, and we're all trying to listen to, you know, there's been a mass shooting in America or something like that. But other than that, yeah, like in those crazy times, yeah, you'll hear like yelling, like, "Where's the content? I need that story now." Moana. Yeah, you know, it would just be like voices and, you know, somebody get on the phone to police, you know, stuff like that. But other than that, yeah, it's just normal. It's just quiet. Oh, you know what? I don't know what normal is because
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Other
know,
than that,
I was wondering about, obviously this day and age that we live in, like the 24 hours news cycle, and
yeah.
then social media feeds with so many different news platforms on there. How often, like, is it, these days in terms of journalism, well, in terms of reporting, is it just normal for reporters to kind of be checking social media for, I guess, connections to big news stories? Like, it's just kind of the way to go these days, like linking and connecting with sources through social media, through Twitter, getting footage. Is that kind of like the norm now? I'm not saying that it is, but is it a thing? Are
Yeah.
you, yeah, like how big of a role does social media and, play in terms of, getting the research and important. I mean, just the fact that I'm saying get research off social media. Oh my god, not cool. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the reason why I ask is because I think on Twitter, you when something big happens, and you see people in comments like, oh, okay, I'd like to credit your video for this news
Oh
story,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I've always wondered, wow, when these big exclusive stories break, like, is that kind of the thing, is to try and turn to see what's going on, like, in
Yeah.
New Zealand social media and pulling from there, or, I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Man,
like,
that just shows like how the world has changed too,
mm,
eh? Like, yeah, social media is like, far out. I can't even describe it, eh? It's like, for people, it's just normal now.
mm,
Whereas they don't, like, lots of people now cannot remember life without social media or before social media. I guess we're
yeah,
lucky in that way, eh? We grew up
right,
before the internet. Oh well, far out. We sound like
yeah,
ancient people.
yeah,
um, but yes, we do approach people when like, because a lot of people, man, they start talking about it, or if there's something happening down the road,
mm,
um just up the road from your house, a lot of people now, they tend to go, oh, far out, anyone know what's happening in Triangle Road, or whatever it
right.
is. Shout out to the West Auckland.
This
um
booklet.
why did I drop West Auckland Road? Yeah. um and then videos, yeah, they pop up videos straight away, start going live. We've seen that in lots of big stories
Mm,
recently. I think we saw the example that you mentioned. Yeah, we do, because when I say we, like all media, we'll
mm,
approach someone who's obviously taken a video, because I guess we obviously just want to make sure that we're giving due credit. And
right, right. Mm,
um, like one example I remember was when the Whakari White Island volcano erupted in New
mm,
Zealand in 2000 oh man, I can't even remember it now. Was that last year? No, the year before.
mm.
Um, and there were tourists who had just come off the island. Do you remember? Like, and
No, I didn't even know it erupted, but thank you. Okay.
yeah, they started taking videos, and like
Mm,
obviously everyone just wanted to get their videos. There was also that famous video posted on Facebook, like of I won't say his name,
mm.
the mosque terror attack.
Oh,
Uh,
yes,
the
yes, yes.
terrorist, yeah, he
Yeah.
was arrested.
Mm,
I don't, to this day, I don't know who took that video, but far out, if they had sold it to the media, they might have got a lot of money.
mm.
And then of course, social media is used for, yeah, bad things.
Right.
Obviously with the Christchurch terrorist,
Mm,
he used it as a platform for his own sort of agenda.
mm,
But I actually didn't watch it. I don't know if you watched it, sis, but yeah, because obviously my dad was in hospital at that time, and so we
mm,
were at hospital, and I saw it come up, but
mm,
I some of my cousins had already started saying, don't open it, don't open it, you don't want to watch it. And so I just flicked past it. So yeah, I guess I'm lucky I didn't watch it.
mm,
Yeah, but yeah, we do use social media to reach out to people. Yeah.
mm. I was wondering about your new role, Pacific editor. Like, what does that entail? I don't know how much you can say, or I guess how does that new role, like, how has it changed? Like, what has changed in terms of this new role and what you were doing before?
Yeah. So before I was doing like Pacific stories, like random like Pacific events and things like that. But I guess I was more of just a normal reporter, like,
Right.
because I was helping with sorry, I was doing, that was my role as a breaking, like a live reporter. it would just be based off like whatever is happening in the world. Like that would be my story, would be chasing that whatever is happening in New Zealand or around our communities. But the new role is about, yeah, it's just, I guess, it's pretty exciting. Like it just shows like an acknowledgement of like New Zealand today, like the face of New Zealand, like the diversity that's in New Zealand, and particularly the Pacifica community, because far out where there's so many of us here. And so my role as Pacifica editor is like taking into account, oh sorry, no, sharing our Pacific stories, like our people, what people are talking about in our communities, maybe the issues that are impacting them, like yeah, profiles, random profiles on maybe interesting people or people who are making moves in different parts of society. Yeah, yeah.
That's so
I'm sort of just
exciting.
yeah.
That's so exciting because, is it a role that another Pacifica reporter was in, or was it a newly created role? Like it's just so cool to hear that you're at the helm of this, that you're taking charge of this. And just,
Yeah.
we always talk on here about like amplifying Pacifica voices and having our people telling the stories and sharing the narratives. That's so cool, sis. Seriously.
Yeah, I might interview you one day.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, man,
Yeah,
like, man, I look forward to hearing or just to seeing like,
yeah.
what comes from this and the work that you and your team are going to be putting in. Man, mad props, sis. For those who are listening who are wanting to go into journalism, wanting to become reporters, what do you need to do? Do you need to be a reader? Do you need to be someone that's like in tune with what advice do you have for them?
Firstly, believe in yourself. Like you can't get anywhere if you don't like have that self, that self like fire. Oh, self fire. I'm just making up things. Like
Okay.
that self belief, that fire inside you. Like, nah, I got this. I can do this. Make sure you believe in yourself. The second piece of advice, I guess, would be, yeah, just do it. Like if you uh sort out what you need to do, if you gotta get your grades up. If you're in high school, obviously, then your subjects need to be like can't be really science focused. Get into, yeah, make sure you enroll or not enroll, yeah, like pick like media studies or English or history. Yeah, honestly, when I started, what is it, 14? I was 14 when that dream happened. And from that age, I started changing my entire path so that it would lead to, for me at the time, it was AET, a communications degree. And I still have it. Oh man, I should really frame it. I had this piece of paper where I wrote goals. I went to a camp in year 12. So I was 16, and it was called Dream Funnel. It was a Pacific
Right.
based, yeah, you probably heard of it, yeah. And yeah, I wrote it down. I wrote my goal one day is to be a successful journalist. And I mean, I don't know if I'm sorry, I shouldn't say I'm successful, but
Yes,
still,
she's super humble. She is. She is.
but
You are.
yeah, like write down your goals, like stick it on the walls. Make sure you believe in yourself, and then your what's the word, like your dream is not going to come true if you don't move. Like make the moves now to get to it. Like, yeah, get your grades up. And but like in general, like if that's what you want to, if that's the kind of thing that you want to do, then you kind of need to be a person who, yeah, read, like get to know, like read what's happening in the world, like get schooled on current events, and talk to people. Like, oh man, I don't know if there is a bit of a thing now with, I don't know how young you have to be, but this is a bit kind of like antisocial, you're trying to talk to someone, but they're on their phone. Like, get off your phone. Like, talk to people, a lot of the stories out there just come from like talking to random people, or not like just randomly go up to someone, but do you know what I mean? Like, talk to people in your community, your cousins, your friends, people at church. Like, stories come out of there all the time. And make sure, this is such a good piece of advice. I think I got it from my dad. Is one word: listen. Like, listen for stories around you. Listen to people's views on things. Listen to like their ideas, or like some of the issues that are happening. And also, don't forget that, especially as islanders, because I forget all the time, don't forget that what is normal to us is not normal to other people. Like, so those things are also stories. Like, for example, you and I grew up like going to Sunday school. We like, what is normal is like suenga feifeau and White Sunday. That is so normal to us. But I think I was telling someone one time, oh no, it was because I walked into work. I had to go into work last minute on a Sunday. I know, sorry, sort of sapaki. But it was after church, obviously, because I was dressed in white. It was a White Sunday. Yeah, it was a lokomeki. And someone was like, oh, where are you going? Where have you come from? And I was like, oh, it's White Sunday. And then someone else was like, oh, yeah, I saw all these kids, walking outside church. Yeah, they must have been doing this savali. And that made me think, like, man, I should have done a story. Like, a lot of people would have been wondering, like, oh my gosh, what's happening? It was like, what? So stories like come out of like our own people, but our own experiences. Just make sure that you keep an eye out, or just open your mind to the stories around you. Yeah.
That it was funny that you mentioned White Sunday, because that's perfect. That leads us perfect time to bring it up, because it leads us into our next part of the podcast. Growing up in the Efakasa, what are three of your most memorable moments of junior youth? Efakasa Teretu, if you can. I mean, just.
I would have filtered it, but now I'm just gonna bring it up. As soon as you said that, the first thing that came to my mind was like, it was when I was really young. I was really young in the junior youth, and I think I was like 12. So I was pretty young. So maybe I was the youngest. Me and Safa, I think, we were the youngest ones in youth, and we were practicing for youth service. Our youth services, Te Aratu e Whakasau, were legendary. We always had good youth services, and this one was. There was one year that this was when wrestling was really popular.
Yeah.
And there was one that I don't know what the end goal was. Like, we had different wrestlers. Like, we had Undertaker, The Rock, Lily, The Rock is now on Faith. And I don't know what Bob was doing. I don't know. Do you know the memory?
I know what you're gonna say.
But Bob, Malo Bob, the man, like, this is at practice, and we were on the stage, and the man, like, just like, I don't know what's it called, like a Samoan drop or something. He just ran towards the wall and just like went like that, ricocheted off the wall, and then went like that down to the person, and everyone was like, oh. He stood up thinking like, we were applauding him like he was the man. But like, he didn't know there's a massive hole on the wall now. That was the middle of the pulela.
Yeah.
I will never forget that moment. I do not know what we fixed that. We fixed that before.
We did fix that, but it's so funny because I did not expect you to bring that up as one of your most memorable moments. But okay, there's one. Any other memorable moments?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Oh, okay, wait. Oh my gosh, this is another thing where the property was destroyed.
These are the
Okay,
things
I
that
was
people don't talk
much
about.
younger. I think I was about 9 or 8, and this is at the old church, like the old car park, and we were playing outside and running up and down, like playing sprints, and I you got to touch the fence and then run back. And as I touched the fence, my hand went through the fence, broke the whole side of the fence. Like the panel broke through, and I turned around, and the only person who witnessed this was Philly. Philly Ma'ava. And he looked at me and he was like, I'm telling you. And I was like, oh, please, no. Anyway, that was, nothing happened after that. No, wait, nothing happened after that. But that Sunday, oh my gosh, we were sitting inside. Oh my gosh, why am I nervous?
Are you confessing after all these years?
We were sitting in Sunday school, and lucky the Vaimoana stood up and was like, who broke that fence? And honestly, I was like, oh man, that's my CCA. I did not raise my hand, stayed down. I did not say anything. I just sat there, and I was makasepaing to Philly. That man was on jazz. He didn't tell on me at all. And I was like,
brothers.
I was like, thank you.
Oh, man, that is so funny.
And, oh man, my third. I'm sure people come up with meaningful ones. I need to come up with a meaningful memory. My third memory. It's not. I don't know. The ones that are coming to mind are just from my childhood. The third memory is like is I don't know. It's just our tradition, eh? Te Aratu e Whakasa kids. We just every Saturday before White Sunday we play water balloon fights. Yeah, that's such a. I don't know why we do that, eh? After everything's cleaned, we start throwing. We fuck all the water balloons and yeah. But those are my memories.
Oh my god, that threw me off. I did not expect a big confession then. Let me just fight along on my koluse for you.
Maybe mute.
Oh man, that was good times, man. That was hilarious. You know, as a Sunday school teacher, favorite Bible story that you like to share with the kids?
Yeah. Oh, well, because we haven't had Sunday school in ages because of COVID. But
from memory,
one of my favorite stories. This is another place where I obviously learned stories. The Bible, yeah. Obviously, those are the kinds of things that we grow up with. But one of my favorite stories from the Bible is actually I have two. One is Daniel. Daniel. I'm thinking of it in Psalm 1. What is anga? Cave.
Lions, right? Daniel
yeah, the lion's den. Yeah. Daniel and the story of Solomon. I just think that's such a cool story. How the story about the baby. Yeah. I just think I don't know. Those are the stories that inspire me in different ways. Particularly Daniel's story because I'm sure lots of Samoans have this image in their house. Like one of my aunties and uncle, they had at their house an image of Daniel and all the lions behind him. And that was one of the images that I always used to look at. The other one, this is Tapaleao and Shengi's house. The other one that they used to have was an image of Jesus knocking on the door. There's no handle because obviously you have to open the door on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. People always talk about e whakasa and young people, the youth leaving to go to other churches and things like that. What are ways that we can keep, what can our church do you think, do you believe, to kind of like keep our youth in the church? What are some things that they can do to kind of like keep them encouraged and to keep them there, in the church?
Yeah. I think we're already starting to see it, to be honest, or slowly starting to see it. We're seeing like adaptations happening at church. Like I still remember the first time, or one of the first times when we got a band, like a band equipment at church. Like that was never heard of before. We never had a full on band at church. But then obviously we had fever, like
Yeah.
like I think that's one of the ways that like our church leaders are starting to adapt or listen. Trying to incorporate the youth in different ways. Whereas like maybe other times we would just associate that with other churches like AOG maybe, but they're starting to use that. They're starting to use like for example, the band, or I'm not sure praise and worship, but no, I take that back. Yeah, we use praise and worship sometimes as well. Another thing I see is English. Like, we're starting to hear it in the launga, like the whaiwhiau or whoever will translate. Hey, will translate. I always think like, oh yeah, that's for the youth, and people who grew up in that whakasa know that whasamoa is like is very important. Like, I mean, we grew up in the whakasa and know that how our whasamoa is pretty solid. But I see that change. I see them adapting to probably to help get the message out more, the word of God to younger people, to make sure that because still there are people who whasamoa is not very good. Going forward, I think just to keep listening and to keep not changing, not necessarily changing, but like adapting and making sure that you still understand what young people are into, especially. I just the other day, just earlier, I saw that we're still running our kirikiki competitions. Like that's pretty cool. Like it's still e whakasa. I think we won, but I think we won today. Yeah, the Tama and Jane e whakasa. I'm pretty sure we won. If we didn't,
Okay, yeah, that's what's up.
If we didn't, then sorry, fake news today.
We'll blame the reporter for that one.
But see, stuff like that is like make sure you still incorporate the youth. I think that's so important, man. Other parts of, like, I've heard of other churches as well starting to use the youth in like more, I don't want to say senior roles, but do you know what I mean? Like use them in like ways that weren't traditionally used,
like
or
leadership roles within the
maybe not necessarily like Gilkupe, but like like starting to be on that level. And oh man, I just want to do a shout out to our young church leaders. Like you got Nelly and Bama as well, but like Selena and Fotu Berlini at Papakura at Whakasa, like those young people are still coming up in their churches already. Like I see them like still like far out. They bring out the youth programs and a lot of involvement with the youth, which I think is really, really important. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the future church leaders will bring too, because obviously we've got Malua and still got a lot of Wa'awa'os coming through too. Just looking for wives.
FX, that's what's up, man. Had to get that in there. I have some book questions for you, just real quick.
Okay.
Physical book, ebook, or audiobook?
Physical.
Bookmark or dog ears?
Oh, I love bookmarks, but I can never
You are
find one. So
doggy.
doggies, yeah.
Read with the dust jacket on or remove it.
Um, depends. I don't know why it depends. If it's really fun, love it, then I'll take it off. Yeah.
I'm like that too. Short story or novel?
Oh, novel. I'm not a short story person.
Okay, stop reading when you're tired or taking breaks after each chapter.
Oh, no, the first one, when you're tired. I've read a book like in 24 hours or
Oi.
less. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
It was a dark and stormy night or once upon a time.
Oh, it was a dark and stormy night.
Me too, me too. Okay. Buy a book or borrow a book?
Oh, what did you say? Higher.
Buy a book
Oh.
or borrow a book?
If I can't find it, I'll buy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep the book, throw it away, or sell it?
Ooh, depends. I've never thrown away a book.
Yeah,
So
who
definitely
does?
keep, or I have sold books. Yeah, I
Okay.
do sell books on Trade Me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What's up? Shout out, Trade Me. New books or used books?
Oh, both. Used books are like, oh, there's some kind of history in there, but then new books is like, oh, that feeling of a new book.
Yes. Single volume or reading a series?
Oh, series. I love series. Yeah.
Favorite author?
I want to say J.K. Rowling. But in recent times, or maybe a few years ago now, Amanda Hocking.
Ooh, never read her books, but I will look up after this.
Yeah.
Favorite genre of books?
Youth fantasy.
Ooh,
Oh
favorite.
no, sorry. Yeah, young adult, like young adult. Yeah. But yeah, fantasy. I like fantasy.
Okay. Favorite book that was made into a movie?
Oh man, this is hard. This is so hard. Oh man, there's too many, but I loved Hunger Games.
Mm.
Yeah, Hunger Games, and maybe more recently, The Fault in Our Stars and
Okay.
Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what is a plot that you've always wanted written but isn't published yet?
Oh my gosh. Harry Potter. Uh, like, yeah, Harry Potter's kids. Like, yeah, I just need more of that world, like Harry Potter's kids world. Yeah.
Okay. Self-care, how do you look after yourself when you're not looking after, when you're not having family time, when you're not working?
Yeah.
Obviously now, especially working from home for such a long time, how do you what do you do to look after yourself, to take care of you?
Yeah. I'm quite weird. um yeah, it depends on the day. Like if I'm feeling like weird or like nice, like if it's a nice day, sorry, then I'll go for a walk. I'll go
Right.
for a walk. Or just chill outside. Like, yeah. I like to hang the washing. I like to do laundry. I don't know why I like that chore. But see, how is that self-care? Like I think it's just like you've got something clean and
Yeah.
laundered, and now you've got I don't know. This is sounding weird. Anyway, the other thing I like to do is like budgeting. I like looking through my budget book and like making sure I've got the bills ready to be paid next week. What is coming up for Akinga'e? Is it Alofa?
Yeah.
Or what Falabala is happening that fortnight?
Yeah, that sounds stressful. How is no, just kidding. How is that? Yeah, just kidding.
I know, this is what I mean. Like, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just a geek. I like those organizing little things. But probably one of the things I always like doing, like when I have the time, is I watch like really feel good movies. So Christmas movies, like maybe not now, but Christmas movies always like make me feel good. Like old school ones. But at the moment, like I try not to watch like like indoor. Yeah, I try not to watch like down, feeling down
Yeah.
stuff like on Netflix or whatever. But so I watch Shine TV.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I there's this series called Wind Calls the Heart. I don't know if you know about it. It's also a book which I have.
Okay. Okay, I will look for it after this.
Yeah, but yeah, I love watching that series. It's so, oh man, it's so uplifting or something. I don't know. You yeah,
Okay.
watch it.
I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna look for it. Yeah, it's important to
Yeah.
be uplifted, be in good spirits, be in a good mindset, especially when
Oh,
you're.
wait, sorry, I just realized this is a good movie too. Heaven is for real. Also a very good read.
Okay.
And Hidden Figures. Very
Oh,
good
I've
movie.
read it. Are these
Yeah.
your book recommendations, by the way?
Oh, I don't know. I just had
Yeah.
because I just realized like you might
Yeah,
ask
go
me.
ahead, sis. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then
Go ahead right now.
I haven't even read this, and I have the book, The Luminaries.
Oh, what is
The Luminaries. Oh my gosh, this is so famous in New Zealand.
oh
Yeah, it's by Eleanor Catton.
okay.
I haven't read the book yet, but I've watched the series. It's a series on TV. It's finished, yeah, but very good series. So I know, look at it. It's larger than my face. So I don't know. I'll get to it at some point. This is the problem as a reader. You just have so many books that you haven't read.
I feel you. Okay,
Yeah.
so you put up a couple of goodies there. I can't wait to look them up. I have we're wrapping up the podcast. I do want to ask, planning a wedding during COVID, how are you coping with that? How
Oh
are
my
you
gosh.
coping with that, sis?
It is so stressful. Because like, okay, so currently in Auckland, obviously it's everywhere in New Zealand, it's red alert, and your guests are ngaka 100 people.
Right.
And so basically, yeah, that's really hard when you're someone.
Well, your family takes up that 100, right?
I know it doesn't even just like yeah, so it's really hard, man. But like yeah, I don't know if anyone else is planning a wedding during, like, if you're planning a wedding during a pandemic, just what do? You just give it to God, because like what else are you supposed to do? Like you literally can't you can't do anything. Like you just gotta like, because honestly right now it's like you're paying all the deposits, you're paying all the stuff. It's like chucking money into the air and hoping for the best. But yeah, nah, we've just decided like whatever happens, like that's God's will. And so if it's a 10 people wedding, then Kapwai on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it. Yeah, you're just gonna do it because, like, no one knows what the sun might galipe tomorrow. No one understands. The world is literally upside down right now. The moon might fall down tonight.
Well, hang in there, like you said. Hang in there. All will be well. I'm pretty sure. Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask future goals, dreams that you are yet to pursue, future aspirations.
Yeah, I still got a couple of goals that I set like for myself as a teenager that I still haven't achieved. And so it's coming up, I'm sure. Well, yeah, I know if I just believe and work hard and pray hard, it will happen. I want to write a book.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I know one day like journalism is not going to be the rest of my life. Like I know it's not going to be always. And so my goal is to one day be a children's author.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's random as.
No way, man. I can see it.
Told people that. Yeah. And then buy a house. Yeah.
That's
and buy
awesome.
my parents' house. Yeah.
You rock, sis. Like, honestly, you are amazing. You don't need me to tell you that because people tell you that all the time. Before I hand it over to you to wrap up the podcast with some more gems, with some more words of wisdom and more words of encouragement, it has been such an honor to have you on the podcast and just to be able to share a bit of your journey, sis. Like, man, people don't even know there are so many layers to who you are, to your identity, and you don't know how grateful I am and appreciative that you took the time just to come on here. I know you're busy. I know you've got, mom and dad. There's so many things going on right now for you, as well as work. So this means a lot. Keep inspiring, keep being an amazing leader in the community. And, with the new role that you have at your work, all the best, sis. I look forward to following that as well. And just keep inspiring and keep being a change maker. You are amazing. And it's just, man, it's an honor. Thank you for coming through.
Thanks, Rosa. Thanks, sis. Appreciate it. Thanks heaps, sis. Thank you, Reads with Rosa, for having us and for having me. Me and
Wait,
what's the elephant?
What's going on?
No, thank you for inviting me, but thank you for this platform too, man. Such a cool platform to get out there and also listen to other people and just understand a bit of their lives as well. It's such a cool little platform. Do you want me to say more?
Just words of encouragement, final words of wisdom for I know you dropped some earlier. You talked about going into journalism, but so I guess just some general words of encouragement just to finish off.
I just want to remind people that there will be hard days. We're going through such a random time in the world's history right now, and it's so hard. There's so many, like you said, different levels and different layers of what people are going through at the moment. But just gotta hang in there, and just believe that we will come out of this, and there is hope at the end of the day. Just stay faithful and stay positive. Just not COVID positive. Sorry, that was random. Just know that, I just wanted to say that because in our line of work, my line of work, there are times that, it's quite mean. You do get hate mail, and there will always be haters. There will always be disbelievers, but just know that people are rooting for you and people believe in you too. A lot of the time those positive emails won't come, but the negative ones come. But
right.
You just got to find it in yourself to understand that, other people will always have agendas, but just stay in tune with your own self and your own faith. And if it's faith, then it's faith. But if it's another avenue, whether you reach out to someone else, then make sure you reach out to other people too. That was just my piece of encouragement because, it's so tough right now, man, all around the world. But maybe that's a new saying. Hey, stay positive, just not COVID positive.
I think that's going to be the episode title now.